Hello again and welcome back to Go Visit Castles. This week we're in Wales to explore not just one castle, but three.
And this is the three castles, the Triangle of Steel.
Croeso I Cymru. Welcome to Wales. William Fitzosborne commissioned the building of Grossmont, White and Skenfrith castles to protect the route from Hereford into Wales following the Norman invasion of England. In 1135, the Welsh revolted against the Normans, and King Stephen brought together these three castles to form one lordship, known as the Three Castles.
White Castle. It's a bare-knuckle box of a fortress, and it's bristling with military features like its unique arrow loops, which from inside give the defending soldiers extended arcs of fire in which to snipe and pick off any would-be attackers. They really are a very clever design.
In 1233, Richard Marshal, the Earl of Pembroke, rebelled against King Henry III and he allied himself with Llewelyn the Great. Henry and his army camped outside the castle here at Grossmont, but faced a surprise attack under the cover of darkness by Richard and his Welsh allies. Henry and his armies were forced to flee back to England, and Richard and Llewelyn went on to devastate the English border. I've just noticed the brickwork on the back of the chimney up there as well. Look at it. Yeah, I haven't seen that before. Yeah, beautiful. When Henry IV took the throne of England, he upheld the claim of Reginald the Great to entitlement of land held by Owain Glyndwr. And not content with just having this piece of land, Reginald intentionally fails to tell Owain that his assistance is required in helping the king to fight the Scots. And as a result of Owain's failure to turn up in support of the king, his lands were now forfeit to the crown. Reginald took all of Owain's land. Owain rallies the Welsh, and the Welsh revolt against the English begins.
If you'd witnessed these three castles being built in your own backyard and stood by and watched as these foreign invaders took control of land which once belonged to you, what would you do? Would you rebel? Would you fight back? Well, that's exactly what the Welsh did, and they attacked these three castles with everything that they had.
In 1405, the city and castle of Grossmont was attacked for the last time by the Welsh during the Owain Glyndwr uprising. The The Welsh failed to take the castle and the city never recovered from the blow it was dealt during the attack.
We're here at the Round Keep at Skenfrith Castle. Originally, there would have been a wooden stairway taking to the doorway on the first floor. Above that, on the second floor, that would have been the private apartments for the lord and his family. And on the top of the keep would have been crowned a wooden fighting platform, giving the defenders a 360-degree field of fire. White Castle's primary function was military, and it's been described by many as being a miserable place to live. I personally disagree with that, considering that 95% of the population were living in timber-framed, thatch-roof hovels. I don't think White Castle would have been a bad posting at all for the average English soldier.
White Castle was originally known as Llandrillo Castle, and many of the features that are here now were added by Lord Edward, the future King Edward I. This castle was Edward's first Welsh castle and was a forerunner to the mighty fortresses he would go on to build in North Wales. The first castle to be built here at Skenfrith was destroyed when the valley was hit by heavy flooding, but rather than start from scratch, they simply backfilled the interior with the river gravel, and then the castle that we see here today was built on top of it. So the earthworks underneath it are not a motte and bailey, which is what you'd probably expect, but rather the result of the first castle just being destroyed and then the valley being hit by flooding. By the 16th century, Grossmont, Skenfrith and White Castle were ruins.
So the three castles, Joe, Grossmont is the more high status, the more homely and the more comfortable of the three castles. Skenfrith and White being more military in function.
Definitely, definitely. You can see that just by looking around here, and just some of the smaller features that you don't have on the other two castles, such as the incredibly ornate chimney over there, which serves no defensive purpose whatsoever. That's purely a status symbol.
It's actually 14th century. It's incredible, isn't it?
It is absolutely beautiful, really beautiful. We've had an amazing time here in Wales, incredibly cold time, very, very cold time, but it's been incredible looking at all of the three castles, particularly all in one go.
In one day.
Yeah, because that's why all three of them were put together under one lordship as the three castles. Their primary purpose was to protect the border into England, into Herefordshire, wasn't it?
And to explore these three castles in detail and the differences between the two, the one we're at now, Grossmont, being much more high status in areas than the other two.
Yeah, definitely.
White Castle being the bare-knuckle boxer of the three. What a place White Castle was.
It's absolutely incredible. I don't know how you would take that castle.
And I think that's the reason why no one bothered to try to take it.
No, the moat on that as well was incredible. There is a moat here, it's not particularly deep, but this castle was used for Henry and the kings to come and stay in as well. They were held for quite a while as royal castles, and this was the only one that had accommodation for the kings to stay in. The other two definitely did not, did they? They were basic castles that were there purely to be defensive.
And I think out of the visits that we've done so far on our channel, it's good to take the Welsh side of things, and that the borders were bandit country. There's so much fighting and battle occurred here over the centuries. I'd really like to look at that aspect of these castles.
Yeah, definitely. The reason why they were built, what happened to them, the years of attacks that went on along these borders, because the Normans could not take North Wales at all, could they? They conquered England, they conquered South Wales, but not in North Wales. The Welsh were just putting up a fight constantly, and it went on for hundreds of years, which is why the castles were given this defensive purpose, isn't it?
Yeah. It comes down to now, given these three castles collectively a Go Visits Castle score, and I think as a trio of castles, they get a good solid Go Visit Castle score of 8 out of 10.
Yes, I think so, because they're all so different. And so the kind of things that you'd want to see in a castle, each one of them ticks it off, but also you kind of have to grade them as one castle because they are the three castles. Yeah. It's one lordship, isn't it?
And it's really good if you've got your walking legs on, you can do the three castles walk. You can walk all these three castles in one day, or you can do what we've done, and we've driven three castles in one day, and it's fairly easy to do that, isn't it?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And it was warmer in the car as well, so definitely the option for today. Yeah. But if you've enjoyed this, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Go Visit Castles.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye now.